So here's my story. I was a creative director at a direct marketing agency, and as those types of things are wont to do, the agency that I was involved with was not thriving and was part of a larger organization, and they decided to kind of fold everything up into one bigger organization. Now, as part of this process, I suddenly found myself to be a creative director among four creative directors in search of an ECD to lead all the creative directors who were in charge of a department of, say, 20. So, I could see the writing on the wall right away that there was something going to be happening over the next couple of weeks. Well, it lasted a lot longer than I thought. They gave me an assignment that was a throwaway assignment, which is usually a bad sign, something that they felt wasn't going to be turning into anything. And over the course of the next year, I turned it into the agency's biggest account. I acted as an account manager on the thing to begin with. I was a creative director, and I was running the entire account until they realized, oh my gosh, he's making money with this. We gotta actually put some personnel on this account. And it kind of extended my stay a little bit longer than I anticipated. And then at the end of that time period, they finally found the ECD. They brought the person in. Real nice guy. I don't blame him for the decision he had to make, but he had a situation here. He had four creative directors, vice president creative directors, for such a small department, and he was the ECD. It made no sense, and he had to make some hard decisions. And one of the first people to go was me, being the direct marketing guy. It doesn't really fly very well in a general agency. So I found myself on my own and trying to figure out what exactly was I supposed to do at this point. I mean, here I was in my 40s. I knew all along, since my early 30s, that you can't get anywhere in the creative business being a creative forever. I've seen too many 40 and 50-year-old art directors and copywriters completely marginalized because of their age. It's a young person's business, and unless you're in a management track, you're not getting anywhere. And I knew that was asking a lot to expect that I was going to hop right back into a management position, especially given that the economy was beginning to tank and beginning to turn. So I found myself with a decision to make. Either I could go into business for myself, or I could go and try to find myself another gig. So I pursued both equally, and the more I pursued it, the more opportunities came available to be on my own. And as a result, I started to do a little freelance here and there, and actually put together entire programs, act like an agency, hire out people, get things involved in that way. And I loved it, but I felt like I was missing out on the key thing that I loved about agency life, which was the debate, making ideas better, being in constant contact with the smartest people I knew. It was real tough to make that transition from being in the ability to go into anybody's office and at any moment get into a really solid, well thought out strategic debate, to suddenly sitting here in this dormer that I'm sitting in right now and not really having anybody to talk to. That's when it hit me that I've always wanted to do a podcast, and every time I brought it up within the organization, I was always told, that's a great idea, but who's going to do it, resources, etc. And there was really no drive to pursue it. There was no emphasis on trying to support me in that effort. And suddenly here I was on my own, and I'm like, oh, well, I can do a podcast. I've got the voice. I've always loved radio. It's the bottom of the entertainment industry. I knew there was no career path in radio, but here was this opportunity to get people together who I respected and have a debate with them every week on the news and the issues. And if anybody listened, that would be great. Well, it turns out that that's defined my entire path. And I wouldn't have got there without being laid off. It's just like having this opportunity to meet and talk with the smartest people in the country in terms of advertising and marketing. I can't tell you how cool that is and how rare it is. I started a podcast called the BeanCast in April of 2008. And then, no, it was, April 2008. And over the course of the next 2 years, I built it from, just me talking to a few people I know to me talking to some pretty big names. I mean, I've made my Rolodex one of the best Rolodexes in the business. And it has defined me. It led to blogging. It led to all the opportunities via Twitter. It led to a lot of people knowing who I am, and opportunities to speak, opportunities to teach, and opportunities for me to learn and to validate a lot of the thinking that I'd been having for a long time. Here I was debating with some of the top thinkers, and they were respecting my opinion. That's validation for me. And I've managed to use that as a credibility factor. Starting a business, it's tough to start a business and have no clients. But here I was starting a business, and I had huge recommendations, and something that happened every single week. Something every single week I could point to and say, we talked about that subject on this week's show, or I blogged about this subject. And as the content grew, it became a ready database of information that I could easily point prospects or clients to, and it enhanced my credibility, because here I was talking to Peter Shankman, or here I was talking to Edward Boches, or Rob Schwartz, and I managed to get in contact with some of the bloggers who I respected the most, podcasters I respected the most, like John Wall and Bill Green and Angela Natividad, Steve Hall. I mean, they all were coming on the show and welcoming me, which was a fantastic validation thing. So if I had to say what my lemonade is, it was this opportunity to break out and find out that all the things that I'd been saying for so long within the agency world, so many things that I'd been saying and being told, you're just a creative. You shouldn't be worrying about that. We've got strategy guys to worry about that. All that stuff was suddenly being validated, and I realized I was so much more than a creative. And now, although I still manage creative projects, and I still go about taking writing assignments, and I still view myself as one of the best in direct marketing, now I'm seeing that I'm having opportunities in brand consultation and social media and public relations, and putting together the entire pie, a strategist of some note. I've completely changed my focus in terms of advertising. I am not about the singular creative idea anymore. I'm more about how do we put all these pieces together and make the marketing work for the client most effectively. It's changed so much about the way I look at advertising. So that's my story in a nutshell. I'm not sure if it's worthy of a lemonade, but whatever. I thought I'd give it to you because I like Eric Prue, and I'm going to buy him an iPad one day. Yes, I am, and he's going to buy me an iPad. We're going to wait till the second generation. It's going to happen. I'm telling you, Eric. Anyway, talk to you later.